comments at any specific individuals on this body or in this room. Council members have the contact information for all of tonight's speakers and may follow up on any concerns that pique their interest. Deputy Clerk Harris will call each speaker to the podium. We ask that you respect the time of those waiting behind you and yield the podium at the end of your allotted 2 minutes. Deputy Clerk? It is 20 and above is 2 minutes. Once we hit 20 is when the threshold shifts. Yep, thank you. I would also note personally that I'll stick around after for anyone who would like to connect. Thanks.
All right, Jesmara de la Cruz from the East, followed by Izelle Harris. All right. Izelle Harris from the East District, followed by Maria Gonzalez.
I have, over the past few weeks, sent out several emails. I even made a proposal that the city undertake a permanent gun buyback program. The last one they had, 514 guns were taken in. Since July 4th, we've had 11 people shot and 1 stabbed. And we know what happened with the 7 people that were shot after the July 4th celebrations. And some of the ages were 40, 19, 18, 18, 15, 15, and 12. The mayor wants to propose a curfew. That's not the answer. So I believe that it would be best if we could really consider, it's common sense, a permanent gun buyback program. Some of the family members of homicide victims are calling for, we need to take the guns off the street. I've got a website that I've developed called Monroe DA Watch, just to see why the DA's office is doing all these plea deals. Dwayne Hall was killed 3 years ago, 38 years old, a father of 10, right in front of his teenage son. This 20-year-old just recently went to court for a plea deal. And this family has had violence before. In 1994, on Weaver Street, the mother was sitting in the living room, a bullet came through the window and killed her. No one was ever arrested for that. What tragedy that we see what's going on in the city of Rochester. So I've decided that I will be relocating from Rochester, my hometown, because I believe it's just too dangerous. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Maria Gonzalez, followed by Rodriana Haynes.
Hi, I'm Maria Gonzalez. I'm here to talk about the youth and the 10 people that they're supposed to say they're supposed to help, take the violence out. There's no way it's going to help, okay? Youth, they can find any way, they can go anywhere without a parent concern. You have to tackle the parents too, okay? Not only the youth, parents. Parents got to take responsibility of their own children. If they don't take care of their own children, let it be and take them away. You give it to the city councils over here so they can send them the programs and stuff like that. But to be on the street looking for trouble or asking for trouble, it's not right. A lot of people have to live with fear. Why we got to live with fear? Kids have to live with fear, okay? So for us to take better on violence, you have to gather the community together and do it in private, not in on outside in the park or stuff like that, because that's a no-no. Because you're putting the people's life in danger, okay? because there's a watchdog going around, and they go around and check to see who's speaking, okay, and who's opening their mouth. So you have to be careful what you do your meetings. So we need to take care of the community the right way and the responsible way. Take action with the parents of those child. Make sure they go to school. And take action. If they did commit a crime, let them pay for that crime. Don't just give them a parent's ticket. Let them take responsibility of their actions. Thank you.
Rogiana Haynes from the South District, followed by Adrian Davis. Nina B. Coates. Nina B. Coates, Northeast District, followed by Adrian Davis from the Northwest. All right, Adrian Davis from Northwest, followed by Inez Burns from the East District. So Inez Burns from the East District, followed by Amber Love from the East District. Amber Love from the East District, followed by Gail DiRosso from the East District.
Hi, good evening. My name is Gail Durso, and I am the president of Rock Cats, an all-volunteer nonprofit dedicated to humanely reducing the number of free roaming cats within the city limits of Rochester through Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Return, or TNVR. Unowned cats are humanely trapped, spayed or neutered, vaccinated against rabies and distemper, and returned to the locations where they are cared for by community members. Because they can no longer reproduce, cat populations decline over time. At the same time, friendly, unowned cats are removed from the streets and placed for adoption, creating an immediate reduction in the number of outdoor cats. TNVR prevents unwanted litters of kittens, improves the health of existing cats, reduces nuisance complaints, protects public health through rabies vaccinations, and decreases the number of cats entering municipal shelters. The cost of this work has increased substantially. Rock Cats spent over $39,000 on spay, neuter, and vaccinations in 2024 and over $49,000 in 2025, while helping approximately 500 cats each of these years. Fundraising alone is no longer sufficient. We need public investment. We respectfully ask the City Council to convene a task force to explore 3 initiatives. 1, support a public education campaign promoting spay, neuter, and vaccination for all cats. 2, facilitate data sharing among animal welfare organizations. And 3, develop subsidized spay, neuter services for cats in the zip codes where overpopulation is most severe. This is our highest priority. We are not asking the city to solve this problem alone. We're looking for a collaborative partnership where we can reduce the number of homeless cats, improve public health, and lessen the financial, physical, and emotional burden on shelters. Thank you.
Ames Gregg from the Northeast District, followed by Marcus C. Williams from the South District. Marcus C. Williams from the South District, followed by Albert Algren, North Clinton Avenue Business Association.
Good evening. Good evening, City Council. Hey, everybody. My name is Marcus C. Williams. All right. So I've come here to talk about general civil liberties. I'm extremely alarmed about the continued encroachment of biometric surveillance in our county, in our state, and in our city. I've come here before, I've talked about this issue before, I've submitted legislation to this end, and it's all stuff that it does not cost the city a dime. You just have to vote on the legislation. It's already there, it's already good to go. I don't understand why we're not making a move on that. It's not even boilerplate type of stuff. Like, it's beyond bare bones. Like, that should be much bigger and more robust actual legislature. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because I see no movement. I see the county's doing some little bit of nothing. I was over talking to the people in the county. That bill's got nothing in there for any protections for us. They're installing all of these different biometric scanning things at different housing places and stuff like that. What if people don't want their data compromised? That's your personal data. That's like you saying, oh, well, if it's out in public, then anybody should be able to look at your credit card, you know, because there's no expectation of privacy in public. Oh, so people should just be able to look over your shoulder and steal your credit card information? That isn't how that stuff works. What are we doing? Is anybody actually speaking up for our citizens? I mean, I look at the panel here, and we've got a whole bunch of people. A lot of them look like minorities to me. We've got Jews, we've got black Americans, we got Puerto Ricans. I mean, y'all don't think that massive government data collection and massive biometric scanning taken by private organizations, when the U of R can't keep their records safe, when the Social Security Administration can't keep their records straight, y'all don't think that that's something we need to act on now as it's expanding? Please, help me help us advocate for our citizens. Pass the bill. That's what I'm asking for.
Albert Algren from the East District, followed by L. Dans from the East District. L. Dans from the East District, followed by Lorraine Parr from the South District. Lorraine Parr from the South District, followed by Barbara Diaz from the East District. Barbara Dietz from the East District, followed by H. Christine Gillen from the East. H. Christine Gillen from the East, followed by Todd Runnels from the East District. All right. Todd Runnels from the East District, followed by Hannah Skauschwitz from the East.
All right. Good evening, City Council. Thank you for taking the time to listen to all of us speak. I'm here talking about the city budget that passed last month. I'm disappointed that it passed because around $200 million went to RPD rather than being invested in the community and addressing the concerns and meeting what needs to be met for us. I've seen daily our unhoused neighbors on the street begging for money because they have nothing else. They have nothing else to do. They have no other opportunities to get a job, to get into housing. For myself, it took around 7 weeks for my own garbage lid to get replaced. I know some people who have been waiting 6 months for their garbage lids to be replaced. Why is it taking more than like 2 or 3 weeks for that to get done? For myself, I got a code violation, and when I went to go look on the city's website, nowhere is it accessible of that information of the actual code itself. Why isn't that information accessible? So I think personally I would like to see more from the city of actually investing in the needs of the city or the people of Rochester. We're in a housing crisis. The budget is not spending money on barely building any new housing.
There's no rent stabilization programs, and it is not addressing the needs of our unhoused neighbors. Peace Village is still unbuilt, and it still remains unbuilt and unfunded. So please, I ask you, when the next city budget comes around, please think about investing actually in the people of Rochester rather than in police. Thank you.
Michael Lohr from the South District, followed by Maggie Kane from the East. Maggie Kane from the East. All right. All right, Malik Hunter from Town of Gates.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Malik Hunter. While I reside in the town of Gates, I stand here because Rochester's instability does not stop at city limits. Poverty, violence, and youth disconnect flow directly into Monroe County systems. Probation, foster care, workforce pipelines, all funded by county, state, and federal dollars. Public purpose is not bound by zip code. I saw your vision and your mission statement in the elevator. I also noticed that today you're introducing docket number 260, which strengthens the city's appraisal and land readiness capacity under the Strong Neighbors priority. That tells me the city is preparing for redevelopment and long-term neighborhood investment. I'm here tonight because the data shows gaps between those commitments and current outcomes. And ultimately because Hudson Legacy Holdings is prepared to help close those gaps with the city, not in critique, but in partnership. Rochester's child poverty rate stands at 40%, nearly 3 times the national rate at 14%. RCSD's graduation rate stands at 63%, but only 19% of students are proficient in ELA and 15% in math. Your per pupil spending exceeds at least $36,000 per year, yet incomes remain among the lowest in New York State. That is not success. It is a gap between the city's vision and investing in people and the outcomes our youth are experiencing day to day. I sent emails earlier. All of you have the documentation within your emails. I appreciate you, Councilmember Mitch, for responding back to me. If you want more information, please read the detailed information I sent via email. Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you council members for doing what you do.
Josemara de la Cruz. Rodriana Haynes. Nina B. Coates.
I'm a resident of 14605 area code, zip code, I'm sorry, next door to 14621. I come today because it is off the hook with the drug usage, the tents, the panhandling, the trash, just ridiculous. I either have to come out the wrong way on Joseph. If I am, I'm seeing people slumped over in the city garbage cans, trying to pick out cans, bottles, whatever. If I come out on Clinton, the church that sits on the corner of Clinton and Clifford Avenue, nothing but drug usage, shame before God on the steps. I noticed that the mayor walked through the city Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, and then they put up a camera. Okay, what's the effort behind the camera? It has to be more than just that. I've lived there in this community in that area for all my life. I'm close to 60. For all my life. And it has went down. And there's some property owners that are still there, but they're old and they're not going to come because they're scared. I'm not scared, but I want to change. Something has to give. My property used to be worth, because I went up on Zillow, it used to be 120. Now the value has went down. It's only 86. That's not fair. It's not fair to my grandkids that I have to put them in the car and take them to the suburbs to go to the store. They can't walk to the corner store because they might step on a needle. Or I don't want to introduce them to a drug addict slumped over on the corner of my street. Something has to give. And I'm coming here because they say start here. And I'm not going to go away. If I have to come every month, that's what I'm going to do and complain till a change comes about.
Adrian Davis. Inez Burns. Amber Love. Amos Grigg. Albert Algren. L. Daines. Lorraine Parr. Barbara Dietz. H. Christian Gillian. Todd Ranios. Michael Lohr. And Maggie King.
All right, this concludes our Speak to Council session. Thank you tonight for all the speakers who joined us. We'll have our normal council meeting on Tuesday here in council chambers at 6 p.m. Have a good night.